Hello, world. We're going to be doing part two of the top five favorite TV shows. Uh, and to get us started on part two, that is Cody.
And that's Kyle. And we were actually talking about the last part, what we were most previously talking about is the world building aspect of Game of Thrones. You accurately pointed out that none of the shows really do much of the world building. And the idea behind world building of Game of Thrones can actually be dissected into a way that actually makes sense. You're right. The horse people of the far east or whatever being like the Mongols, and like the people of Dorne being like Southern English people actually makes a lot of sense. So yeah, things like that. But
Sorry, something that further complicates it is the fact, or like I pointed out earlier, that I think post-apocalypse is kind of world building. I will expand on that because yes, that's literally the like entirety of Walking Dead. Is like
right.
It's post-apocalypse. Satellites don't work anymore. Like nothing. Like it's like wait, so just nothing works anymore. We just can't figure it out.
And they are trying to rebuild civilizations.
I Am Legend, World War Z, pretty much like all of those, like a lot of zombie movies, but post-apocalyptic movie. Dude, 28 Days Later, world building.
Okay.
In my opinion, when you're dealing with post-apocalyptic stuff, you are engaging in a form of world building. Sorry.
So something where this show can relate back to some of the other shows that we've talked about, and a like similar like recurring theme. There we go. Jon Snow. Jon Snow is like Jesus, literally. And like Jon Snow is just one of the best, again, fictional characters ever. Love Jon Snow. Love everything about his story. Love Jon Snow.
Yeah, I want a tattoo of Jon Snow.
And actually, this is what I'll say is in the other show. So, like Sons of Anarchy, for example, we talk about the one family. In Peaky Blinders, we talk about the one family being the Shelbys. And anyways, in our honorable mentions, we'll talk about the Cody family. But Game of Thrones is like, hey, I'm going to double down, triple down, quadruple down, and tell you about the Starks, the Targaryens, and like 17 other families. And it's like, oh,
Karstark. And like,
yeah. The Lannisters. Oh, yeah, like, yeah. So Game of Thrones is like, hey, you want cool family backstories? Let me give you 14.
But also, like I said before, is like pretty good source material. Thanks to George R. Martin.
Yes.
For writing 35 books to give us Game of Thrones.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was another one of the points that I had to make about Game of Thrones. Is it is the epitome of one of the points that you've been making, and that's having a good source material is like setting yourself up for success when it comes to making something off of that.
This actually has a point in one of my honorable mentions is amazing source material. So that's awesome.
All right, let's go with your number one.
All right, so my number one, and like this is the thing, a lot of people would probably agree with me, like in the interwebs, that like the first season of True Detective is the best TV show that was ever made. And unfortunately, like the second and third season were not as critically acclaimed, and that is like understandable. They're just not as good. That first season of True Detective, and dude, it's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and it literally just like watches like a 10-hour movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's basically the thing. It's like that first season of True Detective is why True Detective makes it to my number one, because literally just because of the first season, like
Yeah.
unfortunately, because it is just that good. The whole world fucking knows it. Second season, totally different. Like not there's like no relation whatsoever. And
Right.
that's do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The two stories have nothing to do with each other.
Exactly. Like one's about like an LA crime syndicate, and the other's about one in the South. Or not a yeah. Anyways,
Yes.
the other one, they're just not related.
Right. Right.
You unfortunately haven't seen that third season where they do actually uh build or pick up
From the
on
first season. Right.
yeah, the story of the first season. It takes place in Louisiana like the first season does, and it's starring an actor named Mahershala Ali or something like that.
Right. Right.
And yeah, it's good. The other thing is like first, second, third season. I like everything, so I even the second season, which is derided, I still like. Especially like Colin
Yeah.
Farrell, like down to the dumps and like yeah. So like it's I like it, and but I kind of understand why people don't, especially since it's like, well, True Detective, the first season was like best show ever, and now this has nothing
I'll say
to do
this.
with it.
You keep bringing up Call. I like the Vince Vaughn character in the second season. I
Yeah,
think Vince Vaughn does good.
yeah, I agree. Which is interesting because yeah, Vince Vaughn has been like in everything,
Yeah.
but like every once in a while he'll like put out a performance, and you're like, God damn, that guy,
Good actor. Yeah.
yeah, you can really do it.
So I hate to do this, but I have to because I forgot to mention something with my first or my number one, which is Game of Thrones, and actually I don't mind.
We're on number one.
Yeah, dude, the Mountain versus the Viper is, and you were like, True Detective watches like a 10-hour movie. That one episode I could watch as a movie over and over and over again.
There are multiple episodes of Game of Thrones that are like 90, 120 minutes long, and it's like, yes, that is a movie.
Right. So like the Battle of the Bastards,
Yeah.
such a good but dude, the Mountain versus the Viper is hands down my favorite episode of any TV that I've ever seen ever.
No, it's just awesome because Pedro Pascal is the Viper, and like
Yes.
dude has blown up. Like,
Yes, he has. He has. Yep.
in my opinion, deservedly, right?
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Exactly. Dude, he's Mando. And did you know that? Did you know that Pedro Pascal is like my favorite character in the Star Wars universe?
Right. And so he's probably my favorite character in the Game of Thrones universe, and he's the Prince of Dorne. Yeah, he's the Prince of Dorne. So yeah.
Fair enough. Like the Viper is like one of
I love him.
You said
he's
it earlier.
bisexual in the coolest
Jon
way.
Snow is literally like Jesus.
Yeah, Jon Snow's like Jesus, but the Viper.
Oh, and the Viper visits Jon Snow in jail. Yeah, love it.
No, he doesn't. He visits
Tyrion in jail.
Tyrion.
Yeah, that's I make
because he fights for Tyrion. He is his Tyrion's champion.
Yeah, champion. I love it.
Yep. Right. That's also, dude, everything.
And when the Sparrows outlaw champions, like, yeah. So like the whole world building, and dude, I have Game of Thrones, the DVD collection on my shelf. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
And like the fact is, I put Game of this is why these top 5 lists are so hard to do, and you were absolutely right when you switch to top 10 lists.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones is my 4th. And
yeah,
but I'm not sorry that I put Walking Dead, Peaky Blinders, or True Detective ahead of it.
Right.
Because of everything I've previously said.
an even better example of that is let's wrap this up and get to our honorable mentions,
Yeah.
which is the thing is like
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna say this one because it's not written down, and it's literally I'm gonna get a new HBO subscription to watch House of the Dragon. Well, there was something else, but also Succession. Succession is not in my honorable mention list. Is it in yours?
No, it should be.
Right. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's such a good show. It should definitely be in the honorable mention for both of us. But
Yeah.
I'll get us started on honorable mention with Animal Kingdom because we were talking about families, and the Cody family is just an absolutely awesome fictional family. So
No, and what's funny is it looks like you would be Cody and I would be Kyle Cody. Like we literally look like members of the Cody family.
correct.
Like it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, the hair.
Yeah, like I look like a member of the Cody family.
And then they cut it and they look like me.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, exactly. So dude, I'm watching it right now, like Animal Kingdom. I'm re-watching it, I should say, because I've watched it multiple times through. And there is a character in this show called Smurf, and she is just a true, like, this is what's funny is we've talked about people like just being like almost inherently good. That and Smurf is like the exact opposite. She's just like an evil person. And like if you watch the later seasons, they show Smurf earlier. They do a lot of flash. They're like the last two seasons is like half flashbacks to like the early 90s.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's weird. And yeah, Smurf is just never, she's just a bad person. It's a bad person. And like her grandson literally pops her in the dome, and it's like,
yeah,
I probably would have too.
I did not know that, so thanks for ruining it for me.
Dude, you should have watched it by now. I'm sorry. Wait, no, he killed Smurf in like season 3.
Does he?
You should have seen that by now. It's early on. They do the last 2 seasons without her. It's like, what do we do without her? I'm sorry.
I think I do. Anyways, let's not get bogged down. So another one on and for me, this one, it's like, how did neither of us put this in our top 5? And it's Breaking Bad.
Yeah, like, I knew you were gonna say
Jesse Pinkman and Walter White, the best duo of all time. Like,
character development.
Yep. Walter White.
That is probably the show that epitomizes that concept.
Yeah. Also a show that has zero world building, but it's in.
I've been wanting to ask.
Awesome. So
I've been wanting to ask Skylar Vessel how realistic it is about the ABQ meth scene, because
if there's anyone who knows,
I have a very specific curiosity about how realistic representations are, especially when it comes to like drug use and
right.
Like I want, like we talked about how like Nick's alcoholism in New Girl is like not realistic. Yeah,
no, it's just
that's
not.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I get curious about this shit.
Yeah. All right, the last one that I have on my honorable mention is The Wire, and I wanted to say something specifically that I like about this show that I haven't told you, is that throughout and you've seen all of it, right? You've seen all of The Wire?
Yes.
Yeah. And so The Wire follows the whole time that same like crime unit / group of drug dealers and criminals or whatever, right?
Yeah. Except for, isn't the second or third season like about the docks? Like it's very specifically about the docks.
But that season does not disclude
No,
the gangster element.
no, you're
Yeah,
right.
exactly. There's and that's actually what I'm glad that you said that, because it's the docs. There are seasons that like are just a different lens of Baltimore, and it's the docs, the school, the newspaper, and then I forget the other two.
No, politicians. They get into the political
Politics.
stuff.
Yep.
It's politics. It
I think
absolutely is.
And I think the first season is just like the first season.
When what's his face becomes a teacher, it's like, oh my god.
Yes.
It's like you were a shitty cop, but you're a good teacher. Like it just like I would probably be a shitty cop.
Probably. Yeah.
But I'm an amazing teacher.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that idea.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any others in your honorable mention?
Yeah, and it's a big one. And I unfortunately, yeah, I have it on DVD because I'm weird and I bought a lot of TV shows on DVD. I have The Office, Parks and Rec, Game of Thrones. Yeah, I just bought a bunch of TV shows on DVD and I would just put them in my, and they'd just be background shit. But like great source material. And I feel really bad because I can't remember the author.
Say it, maybe I'll think of it.
American Gods. You're not
Okay.
no
Nope.
God. Yeah, exactly. Damn it. And now I could just go to my shelf and probably figure it out, but it's not a big deal. The internet will know. American Gods is my last honorable mention. And have you ever seen like any of it?
No.
Yeah, dude, seriously, like it's just like the way they portray like mythology and like tie it into history. Like one of the main characters is you remember the really tall white guy in Den of Thieves?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like the main criminal, that guy,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Really tall. He was in Weeds.
Merriman. Yeah.
Merriman. No, Merriman's the cop.
No, he's not.
Is he? Are you? Anyways, that guy plays the leprechaun.
Yeah, right. No, I know. You've told me all about him and his character and everything. And yeah, it's awesome. I will love it.
I want to point at the camera. You
will love it.
literally look like you could play this leprechaun character. Like, yeah. And the other thing is, like, if you didn't know, that guy's fucking huge.
Oh, he's huge. That's the thing, is in that movie, him and 50 Cent are like actually filmed next to each other because they're both fucking
50 Cent's not small.
No.
Like but the thing about 50 is like he's not super like that.
No, he's not tall. Merriman.
He's tall. Yeah, he's like 6'5", and he's fucking he's just
jacked. He's jacked. Yeah, he's a big dude.
In American Gods, he introduces himself
yeah.
to the main character, Shadow Moon, who is like just a big, beautiful black man. He's a fucking leprechaun.
So what's it on?
Like he pulls gold out of, and he has a hoard, and like, so this is the thing. American Gods is a book written, or like I think it might even be like a series of short stories. I'm not sure. I have to look at the author once again. Like it's a really popular author, and like they were like, we're gonna make a show, out of really, really good source material, because it talks about like Native American mythology, like old Celtic lore, which is where the leprechaun comes from, and like he meets Shadow Moon, this big, beautiful black man, and he's even bigger than him. And he's like, oh, I'm a leprechaun. And he's like, I thought leprechauns were short. And he's like, that's a disgusting stereotype.
Awesome.
Literally, he looks like you. He's but bigger. Like
right, but 6'4". Yeah.
Exactly. He literally, So
No, I actually want to just reference one thing, and that's because if we're actually going to talk about source material, I think I've read as much of it as I've watched, and that's The Boys, and it's made by Amazon.
What?
Yeah, I've actually watched the like first season
But
and
no,
a
where do
half.
you read it? Does Cody have it?
It's a graphic novel.
I know. The
Yeah,
only graphic novel I ever read was from Hill, and I had
Yeah, the Preacher, right?
Preacher's the best. Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking.
So
best.
we should have had that.
Yeah. Should we talk about Preacher?
Right. No. So Preacher's awesome.
Yes, exactly. We'll just like shortcut it and be like, yeah,
No. So
Watch
this is actually
and read Preacher.
this is another one for me that's a graphic novel that I read most of it and I love it. And it's the DMZ. And they
Yeah.
actually made a show about it, but the show had nothing to do with the story that I
Oh.
was familiar with from the graphic novel. So I was kind of confused.
I heard that World War Z strays really far from the. I
Novel.
believe it was
I think it was a
based
novel.
on a graphic novel specifically as well.
Okay. I thought World War Z was a regular novel, but
I don't-
anyways, doesn't matter. All right, that's our extended version of
No.
our honorable mentions, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not done.
I thought you were with American Gods.
I am. Well, no, I'm not. I have one last point to make about American Gods. Dude, frustrating when a show just ends and you're like, what the hell? Why? Okay, so let me get through it. The Riches originally,
Yep.
dude, The Riches, right?
Great show. Great show.
So that never reached fruition due to a writer's strike. You know
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah. And we're going through a writer's strike right now.
Okay, whatever. Yes, that's important. I don't mean to say whatever that's important, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The Riches stopped originally because of a writer's strike. The Wild? Why? I don't know. I've done so much research as into why The Wild will not do season 3, and it doesn't make sense because it ends on a cliffhanger, and it's like, why?
And that's the only reason it's not in either of my lists, not my honorable mention or my top 5. If it actually continued, it might be. It literally might be. It's such
That's
a
why
good
American
show.
Gods is not like in my top 5, because it probably would be if it had completed, because I love that show. The Leprechaun, Shadow Moon, dude.
Have you looked into why it ended or anything?
American Gods?
Yeah.
No. So the only, and I'm gonna bring up another show that yeah, there's another show that ended. No, that was it. It was The Riches, The Wilds, and American Gods. And
Right.
the only one I really know of is The Riches, which was like a million years ago because of a writer's strike. But The Wilds and American Gods, two
Right.
shows that
But
definitely ended on cliffhanger.
hold on.
And I wish
I
it
actually I looked up the Wilds thing and and I told you this. There is no good explanation for it.
That's what I was just saying.
No, but that's
Give a
based off-
reason.
That's based off of research that I've done, and I was asking you, have you looked into why American Gods ended? And you said no. So, like, that's my thing. Is like the Wild things ended, but at least I know there's no good reason, but that's the official explanation. You know what I mean?
Yes, you're right. I guess I should look into why American Gods ended.
Yeah, exactly. So do that.
I will.
All right.
It's mired in controversy for a bunch of reasons. It's mythological and deals with a lot of like, yeah. People
God
get
stuff.
upset when religion gets involved.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
All right. You end us this time.
okay, cool. Knowledge is power.
Thank you.